Hello everyone and welcome to the 2025 Welcome the World Seniors Curling event. This year hosted at the lovely Midland Curling Club here in Midland, Michigan. It's the 28th of October 2025. This year featuring entirely US and Canadian members here curling. It's a fun night, if you will, of curling. They random teams chosen using poker chips with your position and sheet number and color of stone on it. As well as that, there's some other things I was going to mention, but I've completely forgotten them. Good Lord. It's been a minute since I've been commentating here. It's actually been since College Nationals last year. It was actually when I was invited to come out here and do the commentating for this event. And here I am now many months later. I'm a junior curler here at the club. My name's Jasper. I went to the Chaska, Minnesota curling club over the summer for their summer camp, the junior summer camp. It was very informative, and I'm looking to enjoy another very good season of competitive curling this year. So. As you guys, those of you who watched the Nationals, would have probably seen, the Sheet B is the only sheet in the club at the moment that has both cameras on both ends. So that is what, excuse me, this is what we're using today as our cameras. So we're going to figure out what our teams are here, what our skips are, who's on what team, and what's going on. So. The ends tonight, that's what I was going to mention. The ends tonight, they are fun ends. So they have pre-decided in here what the ends are to be. I believe I'll have to check the board here in just a moment, but some of the ends include counterclockwise rotations only, a silent end. There's going to be a silent end. I do not recall which one. That'll be interesting to commentate. Interpreting hand signals there, but it's going to be a very enjoyable start to the season for our commentating here at Welcome the World. Looks like they're still figuring out what teams they're going to be here. Rolling the die for who gets hammer. We'll have to see who goes down, and thankfully, quite a few of them have their names on the backs of their shirts, so that should be pretty easy to figure out here. Figure out who is who. Looks like there's already people getting ready down here. We've got this sort of new setup here of how the cameras are oriented with this having cameras now on both ends of the sheet. All right, looks like we got our skips coming down here. I believe one of them is a Midland Curling Club member. Probably haven't seen him in quite some time, but. All right, looks like man in the blue there. I don't have a name just yet because I can't see it on the left-hand side camera there, but first rock of the season, I believe. This is our inside-out curling end. I'll have to take a look at the board here. Yes, so inside-out curling. This is not inside-out handle as I have done on my Sunday night dinner league that I do. This is farthest from the rings is highest scoring. So that rock is currently shot despite not touching the rings. If you do touch the rings, I believe that is effectively just a rock that isn't in the rings. That looks like it's got some speed to it. The ice this year I'm still getting used to quite a bit. It's been kind of interesting. Looks like a solid corner guard. Ice is a little bit fast this year. That is one thing I have noticed myself. Depending on if that sits in the back, that might actually be a really nice rock, but I don't think it's going to. That little sweep at the end there from the opposing skip seems to have brought that right on out of the house. So. Stick curler. Not that much handle on that one, but looks like they're sweeping for line. Oh, I think that might be for weight as well. Looks like it's just barely going to get over the hog line. Really dragging there at the end. Just sliding way over. This looks like an actual inside-out rock, which frankly I'm not most upset about. Inside-out is my personal favorite shot in the sport. An inside-out, give me an inside-out takeout all day, every day. Even if it's the quote-unquote harder of the two rocks that I'd be given for two directions for an inside-out takeout, any day of the week I'd still be taking that. I believe our next end after this is the opposite of this, so it's still not in the rings, but instead of farthest from the rings, it's closest to the rings but not touching. So at this point, we're just going to have to wait and see. It's going to be pretty interesting. Yellow here with, I still don't know skip names. I ought to figure that out if I get the opportunity to. This rock looks like it's got some solid weight to it. I'd give that a top 12 maybe. Surprisingly low amount of curl on most of these rocks compared to, I guess, what I would consider to be normal. This looks like that's going to sit a very solid back 12 actually, all along the edge, so it's pretty good. It's interesting to take a look down at the button like that and see that there's that instead of drawing down to the 8-foot or 4-foot there behind those two yellow rocks, instead we're putting rocks on the opposite sides. You know, it's this is an interesting rock here. Ice was given on the very, very edge of the sheet, and it looks like the rock's just going to be thrown right out of play. But that, wow, that's curling. Man, that looked like it was going straight for the boxes there. Watch us come in on the bottom camera. That's actually a really solid rock. Not quite the farthest out from the rings there, but that's cutting yellow down a point now. Let's see what this yellow rock does. Looks about the same weight as last yellow rock that was thrown. A little bit heavy, I think. I'd give that a T line, maybe. Maybe not. That's barely over the hog. Maybe a 1 guard. Or a 3 guard, I'm sorry. No, that's top 12. Right on top of that red rock there. It's just about the same weight as that one. Barely tapped it back. Our red team skip deciding what he wants. Looks like he wants to hit. Maybe. Looks like he wants an inside-out hit. Or maybe I bet I know what he's doing. He's probably just trying to put something way up high there. Maybe he is throwing a takeout. We'll just have to take a look on how fast the rock is thrown out of the hack. Looks like it needs it. Wow, that holy curl. That thing is going places. I think that only got like maybe one rotation all the way around. It just looks like they're just waiting for it to go out of play. I don't know if, it looks like it has there. Comes another stick curler. Don't see too many of those when I do the commentating for these, so it's a little bit of it's a solid change of pace, I suppose. They're sweeping that to get it over. I wonder why they're trying to bury it so much. The other thing could be is I have this backwards where it's as close as you can be to the house without touching on this end. I don't think it is, but it might be worth the shot to take a look here. Either that or this is your end with only inside out handle, but from the looks, well, I don't think that rock's inside out. No, it's definitely not. Bang! There you go. Oh, almost got that rock on the adjacent sheet there, sheet C. Might also bounce around and take a look at some of these other sheets depending on the how their respective houses are looking. Looks like out of all of the sheets, this is the most interesting. Sheet C doesn't even have anything above probably a 2 guard there. This yellow rock coming down the ice got some speed to it. I think that's gonna sit a solid 3. No, top 12 or 8. Maybe in the back there. Boy, I'm really crap at judging rocks. I was throwing through the house. Should have brought my stopwatch so I could have been timing these rocks. So I'm sure that would have helped me. Comes another red rock. It's really going places. I think they're going to get that. Wow. Double takeout. They got their own rock. But, hey, double takeout's a double takeout. I'll give them that. Vice and Skip here deciding what they're going to do with this rock. Looks like they want to try and put something back there. We'll have to see what they put the score up is. We'll have to see what the score is put up as at the end of this. I hear the sound of a stopwatch. Vice getting ready for their rock here. Definitely looks like they're trying to throw something back behind their rock, or the, yeah, it's that high yellow one there. Which, if I have this figured out correctly, is the shot rock here. It's the highest rock in the house, but I don't really see why they'd be throwing rocks that are looking like they're going to go through the house from that far out, unless they were, you know, playing it differently, I guess. It's like they're just trying to bury it, take it as far as that'll go. Sits the very back of the house. Or the other option is, ooh, I wonder if this inside out thing is the red is shot. The farther in on the red you get is shot. And then everything in the rings is bad. I don't know. Looks like they're figuring out these Vice and Vice Skip are figuring out what they're going to do here. It's like they want to try and put something on the very top of the house. It's interesting strategically to take a look at something like this. Excuse me. To take a look at something like this where it's the complete opposite of what you'd normally play. It's called inside-out curling in a sense. It's just interesting to take a look at how they're playing and how they're playing it strategically and how different it is from, a normal game. It really makes you think about it. It's quite a bit of ice they're giving there for that rock. We'll see how it turns out. Also, aren't too many skips I've seen that instead of holding the broom out and your handle like that, they just hold it upright. It's a perfectly normal thing to be doing. It's just not something that I see every day out doing my curling. It's like during college nationals, there were some teams that instead of holding, they would hold the broom and then they'd hold their handle, but instead of holding their handle hand out in the direction the rock faced when you slid out, it was the direction you wanted the rock to curl. You wanted the rock to curl. In this situation, you want the rock to curl to her right. So she would put her right hand out and hold the broom like that instead of putting her left hand out like I am used to at my club. I think that's an East Coast club thing because I believe that was the Navy team did that for theirs, as well as a couple others from the East. Penn State, I believe, was doing that. But that's a very, very solid rock. Almost. Almost sits in the 12-foot. Still buried a little bit too far, I think. If that's their goal. I still don't know the goal. This has been an interesting end because of it, I think. Just trying to excuse me. Oh, I'm just trying to theorize what they're doing here. Looks like they might be trying to do a takeout on this rock, or they're just giving ice out the front of it there. Looks like that might be what they're trying to do. No, I think that's takeout weight. It's going to be interesting. That looks narrow. That's definitely very narrow. No, they're trying to sit on their back rock at best. You'd have to have been online really early if that was takeout. It's really dragging across now. Looks like they're going to sweep that out. A little bit less weight on that one, and I think that totally could have sat up top 12 there. Final rock here. Hammer goes to red team. If we were playing a normal game here, red would be shot with 1, but there are many possibilities here. Based on the way I interpreted the game as that high yellow rock up there is sitting shot as the shot rock, but for all intents and purposes, it very well could be, it's the red ring, it's the outside red ring that is the shot button. Effectively it is the button instead of the actual button. Therefore making, I guess, that yellow rock the shot rock, followed by, gee, do we have... So there's your button. It looks like that yellow rock, or that red rock, is slightly more shot than the one there in the back, but I really can't tell from this angle. Going to be interesting to see here. Watch this rock come in. Doesn't make it into the house, but we'll see what they call the score as. Well, let's see what they put the score up as, because I'm frankly unsure. Looks like it might have been that red rock that was the shot rock. Maybe. I don't even remember what it looked like, to be honest. Another good-looking end here. Let's see what they put the score up as, if they put the score up. Sometimes they don't. Hopefully they do. We'll figure it out. I might not have put the score up, or nobody scored. I don't know. Somebody had to have scored. There were, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Vices just haven't put it up yet. I don't know. First rock of end number 2 here. I believe this is the last sheet to adjourn to end number 2, so it's a blessing and a curse in a sense when your first end goes long, or any ends go long, because you know sometimes they might only play 6 ends and that'll be that, and then other times you know you'll be going slow and they'll still make you play 8, so then you're there way longer than everyone else. You know, it's interesting. Looks like that rock made it over the hog, but sure not by much. I think this end is the true opposite end. Still haven't put a score up for it. Yes, I do believe this end is the true opposite end. Only rocks outside of the rings are counted. This rock looks like it's a corner guard. It's like your standard corner guard. Excuse me. Looking on the top house now. I keep looking down at the bottom house. I'm just like, oh, it's where all the rocks are, but no, it's on the bottom house. That's a very good corner guard there. I'd take that any day of the week. Looks like they're sweeping this one for line, probably for weight too. I don't know. I don't think it needs it. If everything's supposed to be out of the rings, you either throw heavy back to the corner and hope for the best, or... I mean, hey, that's very consistent, I think. I think without the sweeping, that would have just been the same rock, just slightly farther over there. Consistency is something that a lot of curlers strive for, so getting 2 rocks like that are pretty much the same, even if your handle or your traveling distance is different. Looks like this one's just barely making it over the hog. Pretty consistent though, same exact line, just a tiny bit less weight. Sits same line just above that yellow one there. Yellow rock number 1. If I got that right, that's a 3-4 tee to hog. We'll see what it turns out as. Oh, I did that wrong. Never mind. Stop, reset. Looks like this one might not even make it over the hog line. Might not have been enough push out of the hack. Wow. Does that make it over? Nope. Good sweep, though. That was impressive. I thought that was just going to sit, and I was like, oh, well, there's your shot rock. An interesting strategy I thought of for an end like this would be to throw like 2 or 3 rocks, like your first 2 rocks, very, very high in the house. And then to just, because the rule in curling is if you have a rock that's very high in the house and you hit that rock and stick your rock, your rock will stay, even if it's over the hog line. And then if you hit that rock again, so you can get pretty far out from in front of the hog line if you play your cards right. And an interesting way to do that would be, because I said farthest from the house wins. So if you get a rock that's, well outside of the hog line, because that's still, legal technically, it'd be an interesting strategy, which I might very well try. Because, it doesn't matter how hard you hit so long as you hit those rocks nose. They're going to get through the house, and you're going to stick. So it's just it would be an interesting strategy to try. I don't know if anybody would be even interested, but it's like that rock got some more than the last one. It's going very slow, though. No, that's still going really slow. I don't think that's making it over. I'm going to guess that is, well, watching it come in here on the top. No, that's over. That's actually really good. I believe that is the shot rock. Red would be sitting 2 right now. Looks like red team scored 1 in that last one, which makes sense if your 12-foot is your button, basically. So, on red team sitting 2 right now as we go into the middle portion of the end here. Looks like the skips are coming down to talk to each other. I'm going to take this as an opportunity to go get myself a beverage. I will return momentarily. I've returned. Hopefully that wasn't too long a hiatus from my monotonous speaking. Looks like they figured out what rock they were going to throw. Looks like it actually worked out very well for them. Cut red down 1, and it looks like their rocks, they cut red down 1, and now they're sitting 4 if they can get rid of that other red one, but it's sitting on top of those other ones so well, I think it'd be pretty hard. Well, maybe not. I think it's just a solid nose hit can get that out of there. Be a inside-out throw. My favorite. That rock's going places. Looks like they're just trying to hit something yellow there. I call that rock a 10-second at best. Looks like their rock goes out, but that just keeps red to sit 1. and then gets rid of one of their own rocks just to make sure cut them down on points. Looks like that rock's got some weight to it as well. Not really sure where it's going, though, that's for sure. Looks like that's going to be through the house. Well, no, that's going to, it'll sit in the bag there. It's like red team here making their decision. Doesn't look like that's ever going to need it. Got plenty of weight. Top 12, top 8 is my guess on that one. It's a pretty solid rock if you're going for the button as your goal, but this end is different. Anywhere close to the hog line. I like that. All right. Oh, she said get it away from the hog line, maybe. I don't know. That rock looks like it's got more than enough pace. Hey, look, it's my trick. Sweep behind the rock to slow it down. I've been doing that for years. That's all right. Solid center line guard, too, there. We'll see what the red team skips here are going to do. Sit and shot for one. Be hard to guard. Well, I guess a guard. That is what it is. In this situation, that's what you're doing. You're guarding your own guard. You know, it is an interesting situation that they've got themselves in here. All right, red team Skip here, finally throwing his rock. Well, I guess I shouldn't say finally. I like the way he throws. He's a lefty, and he uses the broom on the ice, which is not something you see too much anymore. Although it is making somewhat of a comeback. There's a couple people in our junior program that are like that. I believe that's tucking, or the technique along that is something along those lines. Tucker. It's a pretty cool technique too. So there just aren't that many people that use it. Second to last rock for yellow team here, getting ready to be thrown. Our Skip is a stick curler as well. Love to see it. One downside to stick curling, as well as tucking, and that style of curling, is the fact that you can't sweep your own rocks. Mixed doubles is something that I'm actually doing, and it's actually rather interesting, but it's from the way I understand we're doing it, at least at our club, I'm not sure if it's the same on the national level, is you are with one other person of the opposite sex, and there's a certain setup of guards or something like that are measured out, and then your team, one person holds the broom for the other person. I don't know how many rocks you throw, but you basically can't sweep your own rocks, and it's really just it becomes a game of draws. There are very few takeouts that you will do, and it's just you score as many points as you can, and you get good at doing that. So. We'll see how the last rock for red team turns out here. Looks like they're attempting to get rid of that back yellow rock, just cut yellow down some points and hope that they don't hit their red rock on their last rock. It's looking pretty good. Well, it's a little wide. They might get a tick off their own rock. Might actually come back. Oh, just barely. Just barely ticks the yellow rock, moves it over a little bit. Now all yellow team's got to do here is get rid of that red one. Even if they don't sit, it's fine. I think they just need to get rid of it. And then you sit 4 at least, 5 if they get this one. This will be an interesting rock to see. It's wide. I don't think they're going to get it. What are they doing? Are they trying? Well, they're just trying to throw something just barely over that's higher than that. Huh. That's interesting. Not what I would have been going for there, but I think they do, what is it? 5 minus the 1 red rock, so yellow would actually score maybe? I don't know. I don't know. We'll just wait and see what the score is. Could be, 4 points to yellow. Could be 1 point to red. We'll just see. Opposing skip coming down. What is this end? I need to look. Stick. Oh, this is going to be a fun end. This is stick curling only. So just means you can't, basically, you can't use anything but the sticks. And if you are a stick curler, you use your non-dominant hand or whatever hand you don't use. First rock at the end, and a very solid weight. One of the problems that I had when I was doing my stick curling on my Sunday night league, because that was one of the ends that we could play, was it was a stick curling end. Was weights. Weight, it was horrible figuring out the weight. It was basically impossible. On my skip rocks, I actually tried basically using a stick to slide out, but I slid out like normal. So I basically used my own broom, and then just instead of holding the rock, I held the stick. It was one of the sticks that was like a weird half-length one. That was like you could split it into 2 pieces. And I split it in 2 pieces and like just slid out with one side. And then everyone was just on my team was like, "What are you doing? That's not allowed." And I was like, "I'm stick curling. I'm just sliding out instead of standing." So I was still stick curling, and my rock actually turned out better than just about everyone else's. Ended up winning 1 point that end, I believe. I think it's live streamed somewhere. I don't remember. I think that might have been when the stream was having problems right at the end of the year last year. Stick curling. Looks like they might try to drag this one in just a little bit. It's a normal end again, so red team's sitting shot here. Somebody using 2 hands there. Looks a little up. It's got some weight to it. Oh, wow. Opposing skip's going to sweep it out of play there, but that was a very, very solid attempt. A little bit less weight. That would have been really good. And I think a little bit more ice, too, maybe. Because that was pretty narrow on those yellow rocks. Ice on the center line. Ice given on the center line. That's got plenty of weight. Are they trying for a takeout here? They might be. Or they might just be trying to get it in the rings. That actually does look pretty slow. This is just a little bit above the rings. I think the ice has definitely slowed down since yesterday when I played it. If it gives you any idea of times, my time for hog to hog on a draw was like a 14.5. And throwing a 13, like throwing a low 13 could get you a takeout. When I was doing stick curling, one of the mistakes somebody on my opposing team did was they did it with their slider on. So they basically slid out. Like they were like standing up and they had the thing and they slid out and they shot the rock and it was a solid-ish guard. But it they ended up falling over because of it. I felt kind of bad. Because, I mean, they were just trying to slide out. They'd never done it before, so, you know. Excuse me. It's like another one trying to bring over to the corners there. One thing I know is really hard to do for non-stick curlers, and honestly what I'd be doing in this situation is I would, if I had hammer, I'd just throw one right on the button, because I know it's really hard to do takeouts with a stick curling because you can't judge your weight and it's really hard to judge line. So, you know, you could throw a rock and then more than likely have a chance to throw a guard on top of it. Wow, I'm watching this rock on sheet A. What a takeout. That was like a, whoa, that was an 8-second rock hog to hog. That's impressive.
That was a perfect weight, Cheryl.
This rock's interesting. Looks like it might have lost handle. No, it's got handle. It's just sliding. Barely stays in play. Any more weight, and that would have been right on out the side there. Nice, just a little bit off center again for whatever this rock is. I personally cannot tell. Well, here comes the rock. Too much weight, I think. Well, that might actually curl enough to, well, it might be a skip, but I sure am an indecisive one for the time being. Oh, wow, what a shot. That's good. Barely hit it, but you had enough weight that it, didn't hit it out, but obviously he's going to ask for the takeout here, but the question then becomes, does this person know how to stick curl well enough that they can throw a takeout? They're trying here. I'm going to guess that they'll over curl based on the amount of curl that was on that last rock. Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's pretty good, though. That's a very solid plan B if they're going for that takeout there. Cuts yellow down 2 points, it looks like. Sweeping this one pretty hard for Lion. Well, they got their red rock. Wow. Well, solid plan B there, I think. I think yellow might be sitting 2 now. That worked out in their favor. Yeah, I think that might have worked out in their favor. It looks like their yellow rock is actually sitting slightly farther in. I know it doesn't look like it, but based on the fish, like the fisheye of the lens, might actually be sitting 2 here. It should be pretty devastating for red team, I think. Red team down 1-3 at the moment here on sheet B. Currently 2-1 yellow over red on A, and 3-0 on C. It's like they just guarded a run back or some kind of takeout that they could do on their own rock and sit 3, possibly 4 even. Looks like they're going to try. You can see enough of that rock, you could totally take that one out. That red rock that's in the 8-foot there. There's enough of it there. I think you could get rid of it if you were good enough. Definitely taking their time between points here. Don't blame them, frankly. It's supposed to be relaxing curling anyway, right? It's got some weight to it. I think the first time I did stick curling, I threw like a 7 or 8 second rock hog to hog, which was pretty fast, to say the least. It's enough of a nose, but that gets them at least 1 guaranteed now. I think they would have been happier with sitting that, but I guess they can take what they can get, as I would. Looks like they're trying to hit that one. I think they might be second out in terms of points. So if they are, then it makes sense for them to hit that rock there. Here goes. We'll see how this turns out being stick. Thrown with a stick anyway. Like when I say thrown with a stick, my brain is immediately like thinking about cars. I like it. Gotta go line though. Hard on line. I'm gonna get that. Looks like that's gonna be really good. Gonna get a little bit of a roll, not quite buried, but makes that more of a challenge for the final yellow rock. And red having hammer, they have a chance at 3 going into this end, which for them could be a very, very solid way to tie things up going into the fourth end. soon as that came out, they're immediately on it for line. Not enough weight. All the way. Yeah, you're not making that. That's a 3-2 guard maybe. Not what they wanted there for their last rock. Looks like it's just going to be up to red to put one on the forefoot and score 3 this end. Tie things up. Going into the fourth. This rock looks pretty good. I think it might have a little bit too much weight on it. Besides of that, well, no, I don't think so. I'm going to be trying to drag that as far as it'll go. Might just have it there. Wow, wow, wow. Good job. That's a beautiful rock. Trace red, I believe. I see no reason why that wouldn't be. We're actually approaching the hour mark of the stream, so if you are watching, we appreciate it. Even if you're not watching the stream live, I know it's World of Curling, and they've been in many countries. Denmark and some others are listed on a nice board behind me. And, you know, I'm sure there's people from those places watching, or I hope so anyway. But even if you're not watching live, we appreciate it. Appreciate every view, and I am happy to be here to continue. Oh, wow, looks like they might actually be doing a measure here. Can, seems like one person thinks it's one and one person thinks it's the other. Can watch them measure this out here. If she figures out it's the other way. They don't know how to use that thing, do they? Gotta put it on the other side, I think, on the inside of the rock. Yep, there you go. You move the rock. I think they might just call it yellow because they couldn't figure out how to get the dial thing to work there. I think they needed the dial to be the inside, not the outside of the rock. You read from the inside. I don't know. Oh, well. We'll see who puts the score up. I think yellow was just trying to keep red down. We'll take a look in a minute and see what they have hung it at. Or hung it as. Clockwise only, I believe, is this end. Clockwise, yes. So a rotation to the right, which will show as a rotation with the left from here because of the inverse. Or I guess on the right-hand camera. The left-hand camera, it's no issue, so. Can't wait for everything to be on the right-hand side of the sheet. Yay. I think the last time I played it in that was like clockwise only, I actually had a few rocks that I said don't throw it with handle on purpose. I wanted to go the other way. And I had one of the rocks at least where they threw it with no handle and it reversed its handle on its own and turned the other way and went basically where I wanted to sit on the 8-foot and score. I don't think I actually ended up scoring that in, but I remember that happened at least once, where it lost handle and then went back to having handle the other direction. So I always wondered how the Rocks did that in the first place. It's interesting. I think that would be a good Sunday afternoon research topic. Just take a couple hours and just like research the physics for as to why rocks curl in the first place, which I'm sure is a lot more shallow of a explanation. But you know, as why when you throw with no handle do they then curl back the other way, and why can't you just throw them in a straight line? Why they always seem to curl in a direction or another? Just watched a very, very nice rock on sheet A. Very impressive run back. Went from the top of the house to sitting right behind guards of the other teams. Very impressive, and their own, in fact. Looks like this rock's going to be brought in. Yellow must have hogged theirs there. I was not looking. That's my fault. That's got some weight to it, yeah. I was just about to say that's through the house, it looks like. Hey, overcorrection is better than no correction. So throwing a hogger and then throwing it through the house is better than throwing two hoggers or throwing, you know, a hogger. Well, I mean, obviously your goal is to throw a hogger and then your second rock just be where you want it in the rings usually. But if you're not going to do that, don't hog it, throw it through the house instead, because then at least you're trying to figure out your equilibrium, your middle there, your middle ground. I do that in practice all the time where I'm like, man, I'm really off today, and I'll just go, you know, I'll throw one really heavy, and then I'll throw one really light, and then I'll try and actually throw one, and it'll help me just kind of reset back to where I want it to be. Especially when I go play at other places. I played at Indianapolis, Circle City Curling Club just a few weeks ago, and their ice is different than our ice in more ways than one, and it was evident. It was evident when I came back here, and you know, my 12-second rock that I'm throwing here was like the equivalent of a 14-second rock because the ice was just slower over there. Granted, they had their ice, and it's always very humid in Indiana. I'm a ex-resident of the area around where their club is, so yeah, I remember how it was. Even that time of year, I feel a little bit bad for their condenser unit because they're going to go through those because it's just how hot and humid it gets in the summers there. This rock's actually pretty good. Just gonna give that a little kiss. I'm sure they were trying to go through that gap there since it's, you know, you're throwing clockwise, so it's, you know. It's an interesting, all of this is interesting strategically because of the stipulations you have to play by. Here comes yellow's rock. Trying to get that to curl. Split up the rocks pretty nicely there. Gives yellow a solid chance to put something in the house. They've got that corner guard up over there. I could see drawing behind that being an option. Why do they want to put one there? I want to see. It's such a small gap you've got to get through. Why wouldn't you go all the way over on the other side? I don't know, but. Maybe they're trying to do. Oh, I wonder if they're trying to do a run back on their own rock. Yes, yes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Never, never, never now. It's one of my favorite sayings in the sport. That's really good. That is really, really, really good. That's impressive. On the forefoot through that gap. That's just a beautiful rock right there. Looks like they're going for line. Oh, wow, through that gap again. Oh, they're gonna get it. It rolls out far enough you could take that out probably. But yeah, their rock goes out of play. This rock looks pretty good. Shooting that gap again. Every rock seems to be shooting that gap. They might be trying to guard it up, guard that gap. Yellow out with their rock. That was a very prominent yes. Let me turn my audio back up. There we go. You can barely hear me. Although maybe that's a good thing. I've been told before on these that I'm pretty monotonous. But I try it. I'm enjoying it. I truly enjoy doing this. It's an enjoyable pastime to have, and it's super niche too. You know, it's first of all, curling's a niche sport, but it's knowing how to do all of the tech stuff and commentating on this. It's another, it's a niche in a niche. It's interesting, but it's enjoyable. I'm also involved in my local community television network. I usually do 3 or 4 productions a year with them where they do, they go film a concert, they do all the football games, that kind of thing. I usually try and help out with them at least once a year. And it's also enjoyable because that's the other aspect of this, which is running cameras and, doing graphics and, that kind of thing. like our second to last red rock here. Yellow having hammer this end. They're trying to get that going for line. Oh, man. Oh, they got it. Good job, guys. That's impressive. I thought that was going to over curl, but they got on that just immediately and were just like line all day long. So they got it. That's a good job for them. And number 4 of the Welcome to the World Seniors Curling, if you're joining us just recently. And number 4, sheet B. Don't know Skip's names, but it's a fun curling night. This end, you are only allowed to throw counterclockwise. Take a look at what our next end is here momentarily. I believe our next end is, yes, our next end is our no talking end. So it's going to be interesting. Our audio levels are going to fall off completely here, and it'll just be complete silence. If I'm correct, it looks like sheet A has already started on end number 5, which is your no talking end. And it looks like C is following in their footsteps. Maybe, if I'm correct about this. This is end number 4, clockwise only. 5 is no talking. 6 is counterclockwise only. Yeah, they should have been on that. There was no need to let that curl. It was going to curl enough on its own. Wow. Oh, boy. That might over curl. Oh. Yeah, I should have had them on for line that whole time. The sweepers were doing it right there. That was good on them. Final rack of this end. Thrown by red team. Red team having hammer here. Red team down by 1 point going into this end. I stand corrected. There is one more yellow rack. Yellow has hammer, which makes more sense. They scored last in the second. I got a feeling this is going to be an alternating scoring game where it's like yellow scores, red scores, yellow scores, red scores, that kind of thing. But so far it was red, yellow, red. And at the moment, yellow is sitting shot and with hammer, which bodes pretty well for them. But with this counterclockwise only thing, you know, it's an interesting challenge. Final rock here at the end. Looks like that red one sat on the forefoot, and this is just going to be a takeout. I can already tell just from looking at that, that's not making it. It might get your back one there, but that's super over curled. Skip is like, oh man. Looks like we're going to move on to our no talking end here. This is going to be an interesting one. It has gotten very silent out there. It's interesting. No talking end. Well, it'll be interesting to interpret hand signals. I can assume there's going to be many slaps on the ice to be like, rock, go here. It just got very, very quiet out there. It's funny. He got a slider and was just like, nom nom. It's funny. Can't talk if there's a slider in your mouth. God, I feel like I shouldn't be talking either. This is weird. No sweeping. No, never, never, never. When I played my silent end rounds for my Sunday night league, like I've done quite a bit of these different styles, but we were doing 1, 2, 3, and then we're doing like a 4 was top house, 4 was top house, a whole hand was 8, and then nothing showing up was 4 foot or worse. Was like 4 foot or anything back. And then if you put up 2 hands, that was just, what? Huh? Hog? Through the house? Something like that. It was like, this is not making it kind of thing. Or like, I don't know what this is supposed to be kind of thing. So. I haven't put the score up for the last end. This is end number 5, by the way. Looks like these last few ends have actually been going rather fast. I think the ends with, this end with no talking here is going to go very, very fast because there's going to be no time to talk in between. Spark is pretty good looking guard. They missed their yellow missed their takeout there, so red has a better chance. I think they might have been going for a guard. Yellow here going for their takeout again. This one looks a lot better. Line is good. That actually looks really good. Yep, that's right. Yep, that's the right way to do it. That was a good job on the sweeper's part. I think with talking being a thing, could very easily have, Bai would have gotten on that earlier, and so you could have had more of a likelihood to roll under, but, sitting is just as good. So, looks like yellow's going to attempt the same thing. I love the fact that skip down there, he's got a gripper in his, or a Teflon slider in his mouth. So he doesn't talk. Never, 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 never. Looks like they got their takeout. Not going to get their roll. It's going to roll over, but they're not going to get the roll that they wanted, I guess. Looks like they're just trying to do a draw underneath of that one. Or a takeout, and they're just giving boatloads of ice. I can't tell. Maybe that's an indicator for their team that's like, I mean, everybody curls differently, but maybe putting it next to that rock or on the same line as the rock is an indicator. I like her thumbs up, thumbs down technique there. Reg needs to slow down, I think. Looks like it might. One thing I do, even when I'm not doing the silent curling, is to tell my sweepers that it's wide or not, like especially on takeouts, because I'm, crouched down watching the line as the skip there. I'm crouched down watching the line, and I stick my arms out to one side or the other to basically be like, it's wide, it's narrow, and, sweepers, do what you will with that. And then I'll just yell at I'll yell at them if it's narrow, but if it's wide, it's usually a good indication. I think this one needs it for weight more than anything. I think it might need it for weight entirely. Wow, that's barely over the hog, if at all. Yeesh. That's an excellent sweep on their part to get that over the line. Highest of high center guards. Looks like they want to draw right on behind those. I think it's a good thing that they were sweeping that yellow rock there, because if they hadn't, I don't think it would have made it nearly that far, even though it was just one person. Yellow's sitting a shot. They're going to go for the takeout on it, as would I. I have to throw that with a pretty substantial amount of weight if you want to give that little ice. Never. Yeah. Well, actually, that might come back. I think that's just going to get a tick. Yep. All right. Just enough of a tick to get that to go out. God, it's so weird being, there's just no sound. It's like just the sound of the compressor. You can barely even hear people walking around. I mean, I guess it is ice, and they're all wearing rubber-bottomed shoes, so it shouldn't be that loud, but, still. No sweeping. The hand gestures haven't been quite as vigorous as I recall them being during my silent ends a while ago. Gotta get that one as far out as it'll go. Looks like it'll sit back 12. Every little bit counts, that's for sure. Looks like they're going to go for this draw here, try and sit better than the existing rocks. They got more than enough room to get around that super high red one there that they threw, that basically hogger. Looks like they're going to get their sit farther in, but I don't know if that's going to be buried nearly enough. Based on the amount things have been curling, you're going to... it's a pretty solid rock. Looks like they're actually going to sit instead of a hit, which is odd to see. Though I don't blame them. It's a perfectly valid rock to throw. Not going to get their sit. It's going to roll just a little bit past. Not going to sit far enough up to be shot either, but still in the rings and buried. So if they can get rid of that red one, that's, you know, a point. That's another point for them in a sense. That's at least 2, possibly 3. The weird fisheyeing of the lens, the weird bowing of it to make it look like a weird curve is minorly affecting the viewing of the positions on where the rocks really are. So we'll see. This one's looking pretty good. So it's wide. Actually, it's quite a bit wide. With the amount it's been curling, though, ooh, there's your hand gestures. Oh, I thought she was going, no, 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 never, 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 never. But no, she was saying, curl it, bring it in, far as it'll go. I think that's actually a very solid guard there. Yeah, that's what they wanted. Kind of guards that run back, or the hit, actually, that they had there. Looks like they've made a decision, or maybe have made a decision. Looks like they're still trying to figure things out. Maybe this is where the talking round goes longer than the rest. 1 hour and 30 minutes into the stream. This is the 5th end of the Welcome the World Seniors Curling event hosted by the Midland Curling Club in beautiful sunny Midland, Michigan. Don't know team names, sorry about that, but red is currently winning 5-4 after yellow scored a 4-ender in the second. They're playing with custom or funny rules, I guess you could call it. There was an end of inside out, counterclockwise. Next end is going to be not anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise, which is just counterclockwise. Or good lord, I can't think straight. What am I doing? No, next round is supposed to be counterclockwise. There was one that was clockwise. This one is a no talking round, or no talking end. Looks like the other ends have moved on to their talking rounds, or ends. I keep calling them rounds. But we're currently on the no talking end. Like I said, though, an hour and a half into the stream. Hope you're enjoying it. Wherever in the world you may be. World of Curling, I know, has been to many places. Denmark, Canada. I believe there's England, like Scotland and that general area. I believe I've seen up on there's a billboard behind me. Just taking a look. New Zealand, I think that was one of the other places I remembered seeing. Yeah, there's been to plenty. This tour has been to many places, and maybe there's members who couldn't attend this year watching. So if there are, hello to you and thanks. We appreciate it. almost done with this end. I believe this is the last of the red rocks to be thrown. That rock needs some help. I think that's going to be all right, though. It's really curling there coming in at the end. It's trying to drag it in as far as it'll go. Even if that doesn't make it, that's still going to be an excellent guard of the line that yellow would have had to bring that in. It's like this end's almost done, actually. I think this is the last rock. We're gonna enjoy resuming speaking afterwards. Figure out who's doing what. It's like our sweepers switched. Yellow team here, trying to throw through that port maybe. That's really, really high up there. They might be trying to just go all the way out and around, which is, I think, what they're trying to do, but that rock looks like it's got a little bit too much weight to sit T-line, and especially to drag itself in quite that far. You'd have to be very close to that rock if you wanted to get in as much as they wanted to. Looks like they're not going to do quite as well as they wanted to, but red will sit one, it looks like, and further their lead over yellow, now 6-4 going into the, I believe, 6th and final end, which is your anti-clockwise end, throwing rocks only against the current of the clock. Or how the clocks in my school work when the power goes out. Still have analog clocks at my school, so there is that. I do know how to read a clock, despite only being 16. So there's a surprising number of people who I know who don't know how to read analog clocks, and it kind of bugs me, actually. But I guess you can't do anything about it. I hope these guys know that it's not a silent end anymore. Because I'd hate for them to keep being silent, throwing their counterclockwise rocks. Looks like this one's just barely being carried over the hog line, but it's really dragging. They really dragged that one in pretty far. I didn't think it was making it much past the hog. Just a little tick there. That's actually going to push the red over and be a very solid center guard. likely what they were going for in the first place. Take a look and see what red team does with this. Likely just putting one right in behind. I find it interesting that a lot of these guys are putting their brooms up on the higher end of the house instead of on the tee line. As I was taught, it's you put your broom on the tee line. He's still on the exact same line that he would be on, regardless of, you know, whether you're on the tee or well up where he was, but the tee is always just a good reference point in my mind. That rock's got to curl quite a bit if they wanted to get it buried. Looks like it's just going to sit back 8 and not curl just enough. It's out in the open, but it's back far enough. I think it isn't going to cause too much issues other than helping, really, just being a backer for this rock, which is moving rather fast, it looks like, compared to the previous rock, anyway. Oh, excuse me. Looks like they might actually just get a little tick off of it. Oh. Red team's getting really lucky with yellow's ticks here. That's the second one. And only about, I'd say 30% of that back red rock is showing now. It's like he's going to try and put something up in the top of the house. One of the strategies that I've had for this, and if you've been watching earlier in the stream, you would have heard me talk about this on the clockwise end. But one of the strategies I had for this was, you know, well, I guess wasn't actually for this one, but I was thinking about it. A strategy for an end, if you're playing and it's like farthest from the button, throw as high in the house as you possibly can, or as high in the whole area, just barely over the hog line. And then throw a takeout on that rock, but nose it so you don't move. Throw a takeout on that rock, now you're sitting farther over the hog line. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again to get farther and farther and farther away from the hog. And then it's, you know, insanely hard to beat because, you know, that's how the rule is in curling, is the rock is still in play even if it's outside of the hog line, if it took out another rock in the process, which is normally not something that you would ever do on purpose as far as I know. Yeah, but you, like, in a situation where you're playing to get your rocks as far away from the house as you can, it's a brilliant strategy in my mind. Until the other team complains. Here comes this rock. Looks to be what they're just trying to do on that, what they tried to do on that last rock. I think they got the guard that they wanted there. That's actually pretty good. It's right on the line that they wanted. It's guarding exactly what they wanted. They might be actually trying for a run back of their, well, that wouldn't make any sense. Why would they do that? Maybe just trying to get rid of that, peel it away. Throw it through the wall. Not sure if there's doing any more curling after this, but I will be here if there's any games after this one here at the Midland Curling Club. It's been a very enjoyable way to spend my afternoon, honestly. Wow. That's one way to do it. Open that up a little bit. Although I'm not sure if that actually made it better or worse. Yeah. Red team here really thinking about what they got to do to figure this out. Because they got to throw counterclockwise. They have to throw through that board. Like I said last time when we were doing the clockwise only one, you know, it's hard to. Actually, I'm getting this all confused. No, I said that during the skip, the stick only, where it's hard to throw takeout. So, you know, throw someplace where you can throw a takeout, and then. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting all of these custom rules confused up. Red team now sitting 2 going into this final end. Yellow needs to score 2 themselves if they want to tie and go into a 7th. Although I'm not sure if these guys will play 7 ends or if they'll play 6 and be done. This rock's going places. Gotta go fast. Ooh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's impressive. Double takeout. That's a good job. That's, like I said earlier, double takeout is a double takeout, but in this case, it's actually on 2 rocks. That was actually, that's really impressive because now the only rock sitting is a yellow 1. Looks like this one's, that one might get dragged into the rings just enough to sit. Yep. That's almost impossible to take out because you can't come in and around. Well, maybe. I think you can. I think those rocks are linear enough, those 2 guards, those red guards up there, that you could get around both of them. But at that point, you're not sitting in the rings. Well, yeah, you are. She just needs a biter to score 2 and carry it into the 7th or tie it, depending on which they decide to do. Looks like they got their takeout, but they're not going to stick. Two rocks remain for each team, I believe. Yes, 2 rocks remain for each team here. The yellow team has the hammer, so this is going to be a very dramatic finish, depending on how things go here. See, our skips rock here for red team goes down.
Thanks, Gordon.
Here comes our red rock here. Looks like sheet A is finished up and sheet C is shaking. Sheet B is the last one out on the ice tonight, or this afternoon, I guess. I'm used to these being, you know, at 7, 8, 9 o'clock. So. Wow. What a way to go. Had to get a tick, but I think they're sitting 2 now. I think they're just going to try and hit it and stick for at least 1. The chances of 2 are slim, but not impossible. I think it could be done if you did it. If you hit that red rock just right, you could get yourself a double and stick a second. But that would be really hard to do.
Yeah, that was quite an adaptation on the way up there. Like passing it on.
Well, final yellow rock here. Second to last yellow rock, I stand corrected. So there were 3 yellow rocks left. Gee whiz. Yep. Whoa. That's good. That's a really good rock. Stick for 2 and, well, I mean, not for 2, but it's the problem with this whole counterclockwise thing is those 2 rocks that are sitting all the way over there on the right-hand side of the button are basically inaccessible. Well, it looks like Skip for red team has made his decision on the final rock. Yes, I had to figure out if that actually was the final rock. I've always had problems with not actually knowing how many rocks are left in a game. Second to last rock of the game, and number 6, the World of Curling event. Here at sheet B, anyway. A's final score was 6-3 yellow, and C's final score comes to 6-4 yellow. B might end up as the only sheet where yellow pulls out a victory. Or, excuse me, red. This is going to be interesting. I'm not really sure what that does. I got to think about that. I think that might actually work out for them in terms of what it forces yellow team to do. Because I think what that forces, It's counterclockwise only, so they gotta. The only thing they can really do is do a raise, and that raise is so. It's such a small gap. You'd have to throw it fast, so fast that it would defeat the purpose of throwing a raise in the first place. I don't know. They're gonna have to see what they do. They're giving ice back there. Looks like they might be trying to roll over on top of those two red ones to score one because the other end is all, jammed up. They can't get through there. Give me an inside-out rock any day of the week. Oh, yeah, they need to be on that. They needed to be on that yesterday. Oh, nope. Well, I think that's the game. I think red team is going to score one at the end of that. I'm not sure if they're doing any more games after this, but if there is, you can count on me being there and being your commentator. So I hope you enjoyed the possibly first and only, but hopefully not the last ever World of Curling event here hosted at the Midland Curling Club. But I hope to be your commentator now and for any future ones. So until I'm back on here for any other events that happen to be occurring that I'm not curling in, I'll see you around.